What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Into My GT Entertainment, and I am Joel. Nice to see you today. I got a quick little video on just some updates on Wasp, things that I've done, things that are coming, and where I'm going to put my mindset for the rest of this build. Just want to show you what I've done up to this point thus far. I want to thank JL for sending me the oil separator, Steeda for helping me get this part of the build done already, and I have one more to add, but that might come to a different video. So we will see you in a second. Alright, the first thing on my list, we'll start under the hood. It is the J&L separator. And as you could see, that it sits over here in the corner. And it was fairly easy install. I want to really appreciate them sending me this product out. I have one, like I said, on every car. They work. So, not to beat a dead horse, but I would definitely invest in one. There's one right there. You can see how it sits, so you can figure it out on your build. And if you notice, mine is on top where the directions tell you to go in between. For some reason, this one sits better this way, so we'll just leave it like that. I also have taken out the carbon traps in both of these. Someone replied about emissions or whatever. Yeah, we don't worry about those things. We'll be all right. So those are taken out, and as you can see, that's pretty much all I've done under here. I've also done the suspension, which I'm going to get into a little more. I did put caster camber plates because with these particular cars, S550s and S650s, there is no front camber adjustment. You either have to get camber plates or camber bolts. I went with the plates because it gives you more side to side versus just the one direction with the camber bolts. So that's what we went to, but I'll get more into that here in a moment. So let's go to the side of this car. So that's what we're going to be talking about. Alright, so the next part that we're going to be talking about is the suspension and the exhaust. What I've done, I did the Steeda H-pipe versus the X-pipe. The sound is definitely different between the two, and in theory you get a couple extra more horsepower with the H versus the X. In later years it was the other way around. You get more horsepower out of the X than you do the H. I don't know if the twin throttle bodies or something along that line, the way they tune it, has changed that. But we went ahead with the H-pipe on this car from Steeda. And I'm not going to get into the whole revving and all that mess, because you can watch my other video where I had that put on and installed, and it shows every mode and what it's done. So the part that we're going to really focus on is the suspension of this car. Alright, as you can see, the car looks very different than it did when I first started the build on this car. It is now lowered on the sports springs for the Magna ride. As you can see, it tucked it away pretty nicely. We are looking at probably a finger and a half of wheel gap, and then come to the rear, it's about a little less than that in the front back. Now, we have done it. I have put on the wheel spacers to bring out the tires a little bit, because if you've ever noticed what these cars look, I might throw up a picture and show you what it looked prior to, where the tire is all sucked up in the fender. People do that because they like the rims that they're on and not changing wheels and tires at this moment. So, you know, it adds a more fuller look to it. I also went with the camber plates, caster camber plates for this car, as I showed you earlier, because with these models, there's no front adjustment to them. So if you wanted, you would have more of an angle kick than an up and down. So as you can see, this is pretty much up and down. It does have a little bit of a toe to it, but that's kind of by design. And the same for the rear. So you can see how that looks. Now, I do have a problem how this looks, and it's just me, I believe, because I'm kind of used to things being within the fender liner. So if you're like above here, you know, it's not terrible, it's not too far off, but it still bows out from that a little bit. So really the only way to get around that is either using a smaller spacer, but then you would probably have to cut your studs because they're going to hit the back of the wheel, which nobody wants to get in that, or get a new set of wheels. But for the most part, it did improve the look. I can't complain too much about that. The car itself has a great stance now for just being on the factory set of wheels. But like I said, that's pretty much that part of it. There is another part that was done, which is called the Stop the Hop kit. I can't really show you that. It is, well, let me see if I can. Hold on real fast. This is what I do for you guys. So here we go. Onto the car. So we also got what's called the Stop the Hop kit. And as you can see right there, we have this lovely subframe connector under there. That's on this side and the other side. And what it does, it reinforces the rear end, and it comes with the spacers for the alignment of the rear end once you do the lowering. So you get the bushings that go in between the bolts, and plus you get metal or aluminum caps that go on either side. So you don't get any extra noise, but you get the stirability of the reinforcement to it. And it definitely stiffens up the car a little bit in the rear. And it's not very sloppy. And like I said, with the magnet ride, it wasn't really sloppy too much. So this definitely makes an improvement. But yeah, that's kind of what it looks like. I know the angle is kind of weird, but I'm not lifting the car up today, so you get what you get. And that is where we are at the moment. Now let me tell you about some of the things that I got going on, and let me show you what I do in my phases. I have 3 phases I do when I first get a car. Phase 1 was the tint. I got that done right out the bat, and that looks really good. And no problems there. A lot of you younger guys now are tinting the windshield and stuff. I'm a little older, and I went with the old school type with the brow at the top. It works for me, and you know, it is all good. I'm showing my age. I get it. Stage 2, lowering the car. Like I said, I am doing more of a handling car than a horsepower car at the moment. Not to say that horsepower isn't coming down the road. I'm going to let them catch up, get all the kinks out, and then we'll go ahead and worry about all that later. I am running it on the dyno once I get past the braking period. I only got 500 miles on this car. I've had it for a month and a half. I drive too much, don't I? So we're going to go ahead and get that done at some point also. But like I said, my phase 2 was lowering the car. And like I said, I'm doing the whole handling side of it, so that's why I went with the caster camber plates when I did the lowering instead of just lowering it and letting it be. That's why I did the Stop the Hop kit. That way, you know, it's a little bit more reinforcement back there. I didn't do shocks and springs. shocks, excuse me, because they're brand new. And it's not like I'm lowering it so much that it should, make that big of a difference with that part of it. Yes, lowering suspension, they do make shocks for that particular application, but in my knowledge base of doing this for years with other cars, it doesn't make that big of a difference for your everyday driving. Now, if you're going to track it every weekend and do whatever, yeah, I could see it. But for your normal day, going around, doing canyon curving, or, just having a good weekend with it, I think you'll be okay. So that is phase 2. Now, phase 3 was supposed to take me a little longer to get to, but that would be a tire and wheel setup. In the house, I have my new tire and wheel setup. I'm not going to show you quite yet. I want you to kind of marinate with this for a moment, and then we'll make a separate video with that. Definitely a beefier setup. I'm going off the 19s into a 20. I'm going to have a 20 by 10 in the front, 20 by 11 in the rear. So it's definitely the stance that could be done a lot different. The spacers will be off the car. With these wheels, you don't need the spacers. I'll have to see how the front sits in, but I don't think I'll need one for the front neither. So that is coming. That is here. I should have that on by this weekend. So if this video comes out this week, then by the weekend those wheels should be on there. It's kind of my thing. I change wheels all the time. Y'all know it from knowing me. I've had so many sets on Electra. I've had 3 sets on the Explorer already. Guess what? This isn't any different. But you know what? I'm running out of money, so this might be a little longer after this, just before I do anything else. But for the most part, the car is starting to form the way I want it to be. Not the way that others in this family want it to be, but it's the way that I want it to be. And I think it's turning out pretty good, and I think y'all might like the wheel setup on it. It's nothing totally extravagant or out the box, but I think it'll look really good on this car once you see them. And I'm toying around with doing something with the center cap. I'm not too sure if I can get that done in time, or I just might do it later on down the road. But we'll see where we are with that. So this is Wasp. Oh yeah, that reminds me, because I am old and make rash decisions so much. I did order my new license plate. It's going to be Wasp GT. And I know I've only had Sunsplash on there for about a week and a half. So yeah, DMV's probably looking at me like I'm freaking nuts. But it's all good. Wasp GT is coming. That should be here in the next day or so also. And I am getting a sticker made. I'm kind of in contact with somebody trying to get this hammered out. They said that they're working on it, doing some detail to it. But I'll throw up a picture up here. And that's what I want to put right here in this section somewhere. Just here or right here where it's all black. Just to have it. That'll be Wasp. That'll be my call sign. That'll be the way the car will be recognized on some of the videos. So that's what I'm going to go with. And I hope y'all enjoy it. I'm putting some time and effort in some of this stuff. I'm not just throwing it out there I tried that at first and then kind of started backtracking a little bit because I'm making some changes. So like I said, I want to do this car right. And like I said, it is an extra car for me to have fun with. And I got Electra for my straight line fast. I got something for curvy. I got my ST to surprise people. So I'm well-rounded in my vehicle setup as it is right now. And if there's anything that you want to see with Wasp, Electra, Nightwing, just drop it in the comments, let me know. I don't make videos all the time, but the more engaged y'all are, the more I will try to get things out a little quicker and have more ideas. Because I have a list of stuff that I want to get out, but I don't want to flood it. I don't want to do day by day by day, and then I run out of ideas, and then you won't see nothing for 6 months. So that's where I am now. This is Wasp. That's my update. And I'll give you a little sneak peek of something, of those wheels. But I'm not going to give you too much information. Yep, that's all you get. And that's my guard cat. Right, Cooper? Right, Cooper? Yeah. You just guard those boxes, all right, kitty? All right, good boy. And right there, we're gonna end this video because my guard cat is watching my boxes. The car's in here. I got some stuff to do with my mom today, so I don't have all time to dilly-dally. But anything y'all wanna see, let me know. Any questions y'all have about the car, drop them in and I'll do my best to answer it. And I will throw down pictures and stuff of all the products that I bought from Steeda, JL, and later on those wheels, and support them. They try to help me out when they can. You know, nothing's ever for free these days, so you know, at least you try to get, you know, a communication between your brands, and you know, you take care of them and show them some love. They'll take care of you eventually and show you some love also. Lord knows I spent enough money on stuff with cars. So I'm just trying to get a little back. Please help me out so I can do some more. So we'll catch you on the next video, and peace.